now seeing the results
Very
of Project
successful
Touchdown. Let's
investigation.
listen in.
But first, I'll take a moment to introduce members of our partner agencies. Speakers this morning will include, representing Peel Regional Police, Deputy Chief Nick Malinovich of the Investigative and Emergency Services Command. From Durham Regional Police, Superintendent Glenn Cornier, the officer in charge of serious and organized crime. And unfortunately, Deputy Chief Roger Wilkie from the Halton Regional Police Service was unable to make today's rescheduled time for the conference, but he sends these words, and I'll quote Roger. The Halton Regional Police Service is committed to working together with our policing partners to prioritize the safety and security of our community. We recognize that sophisticated auto theft is a global problem that's affecting so many of our communities, and these arrests send a clear message that organized crime will not be tolerated in our community. Also in attendance today are representatives from our partner agencies, the Equité Association and the Canada Border Services Agency. And if you could stand as I say your name, please. From the Equité Association, Brian Gast, Vice President of Investigative Services. As a not-for-profit national organization, Equité Association supports Canadian insurers in fighting fraud by using advanced analytics, intelligence, best practices, and coordinated investigations. Equité is a member, funded and supported by Canadian property and casualty insurers, which demonstrates the insurance industry's commitment to tackling fraud and crime through leveraging relationships with law enforcement partners and industry organizations. Also here today is the Director of Intelligence and Investigations Operations Division for the Canada Service Border Agency, David Gloss, and subject matter expert Martina Freitas. The CBSA is responsible for providing integrated border services that support national security and public safety priorities. Its intelligence operations are imperative to any investigation as members use their skills to collect, analyze, and assess information, evidence, and trends. The expertise of CBSA intelligence and the phenomenal work of the CBSA export units helped make this project a success. Many thanks to all of you for being here today and for your ongoing efforts in keeping our community safe. Thanks again. I won't get into too many investigative details as Detective Sergeant Pat Smythe of the Financial and Organized Property Crime Unit will be taking you through our actions and efforts over the past 6 months. But I will say, this project focused on organized criminal groups responsible for the increasing number of car thefts across the Greater Toronto Area. In fact, in York Region alone, vehicle thefts have gone up more than 44% over last year. Using new technologies and tools, these criminals can steal a car from a driveway in just seconds. In fact, we have a very good example of how it's done. If I can just please direct your attention to the video screen here. As you can see, that took all of about 22 seconds. So you can see the scope of the problem. The groups operating across the GTA are involved in more than just vehicle thefts. They're also trafficking in guns and drugs, as you can see here on the table here before me. We seize fentanyl, MDMA, cocaine, and oxycodone in this investigation. We also seize 15 handguns, 1 assault-style rifle, along with magazines and ammunition. We're in the process of tracing the origins of each and every one of the guns, but we believe most have been smuggled in from the US. And that, as we all know it, is a significant problem. One that every agency here is committed to eradicating. As individual services and agencies, we couldn't hope to succeed at disrupting these criminal networks without the assistance of one another. We all bring a level of expertise and experience that benefits the whole. And I commend the dozens of investigators, civilian and analytical support, the Air Support Unit, the Emergency Response Unit, and of course our Communications Center who are always part of some of these projects, for a job very well done. And I thank them sincerely for their effort and dedication to this successful investigation. And I'd also, before I conclude, like to offer my best wishes to all of you for a happy holiday season. Thank you, and I'll now turn it over to Deputy Chief Nick Malenovich from Peel Regional Police.
Good morning. The Greater Toronto Area and Ontario and nationally is, as you've heard, experiencing a dramatic increase in auto theft crime. This is organized auto theft crime. Residents and businesses across Peel Region and other jurisdictions are waking up in the morning and finding that vehicles have been taken from the driveway. They use this illegally gained proceeds to fund and fuel other criminal activity, to bring, as you see here, guns, drugs, and violence into our communities. I would like to offer a little bit of perspective on this. In Peel Region, on average, we are recovering approximately 6 stolen vehicles a day in 2022. We have recovered in 2022 $30 million worth of stolen vehicles more than we did in 2021. And the reason why I offer that is because it provides some perspective on the work that's being done, like we see here today, by the investigative teams that we've tasked to tackle this priority, but also it demonstrates the actual issue and the volume of cars that are being taken from our citizens. The vehicles represented in this project represent millions of dollars of proceeds that are removed from the pockets of the people that are participating in organized crime and organized auto theft. It impacts their ability to fuel other illicit activities and other crimes. I would really like to take the opportunity to thank our investigators and support units, as well as all of our partners that you see here today. Project Touchdown was a persistent, collaborative, and effective investigation which used techniques to interrupt and dismantle the criminal organizations that are targeting our communities. And it also demonstrates the need for a collaborative front. Crime is not bound by jurisdictional boundaries. So these types of joint forces operations are incredibly important, as we see here today, provide tremendous dividends to our community. This joint forces operation, as with numerous others that we've participated in and collaborative projects that we've also participated in, demonstrate the effectiveness of those collaborative efforts and the partnership between other agencies. Auto theft, organized auto theft, is a rapidly increasing crime. And as you can see here today, it is something that our services are not willing to tolerate. It affects our community's safety and well-being. And speaking on behalf of Peel Regional Police, I can reassure our community that we will do everything we can to impact criminal organizations' ability to affect their community safety and well-being. To our community, we know how these crimes affect you. We understand that people wake up in the morning and walk out to their driveways and find that there are cars gone. The cars that they worked incredibly hard for and have earned. And that affects their community safety and well-being. And as a police organization, I want to reassure our community that that isn't lost on us. We understand how that affects you. We understand how it affects your community safety and well-being. We understand how it affects you personally. And we are committed to making sure that the resources that we devote to this work are commensurate to the issue that's being experienced by them. On average, as I mentioned, we are recovering 6 vehicles a day that have been stolen. $30 million more in stolen cars are being recovered in 2022 than they were in 2021. And I would like to take this opportunity to commit to our community that we will continue to do everything we can as a police organization, not only to battle organized crime, through joint forces operations like we have here today, but we will also collaborate with other stakeholders. We will invest in prevention. We will invest in problem solving and do everything we can to ensure that this issue is addressed and our community can feel safe and secure. Appreciate the opportunity to provide these remarks. And with that, I would like to introduce Superintendent Glenn Kernye from Durham Regional Police. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Chief Todd Rollauer and the Durham Regional Police Service, I want to thank York Regional Police and all our partner agencies for their contributions to Project Touchdown. Just like the other regions represented today, vehicle thefts continue to escalate in Durham. This is a major concern for our service and our community. In Durham, we have seen vehicle thefts rise from about 20 per week in September to as high as 40 in November. Our joint forces collaboration with other partner agencies is making a positive impact, and we are thankful for these relationships. Operation Touchdown builds on the recent internal service project, Red Start, that resulted in the seizure of 33 stolen vehicles, making another 11 arrests. Durham Regional Police will continue to work with our partner agencies to educate and inform our communities and target these organized vehicle theft groups to combat this crime. At this time, I will now hand it over to Detective Sergeant Pat Smythe for more information. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We've identified an upward trend in the vehicle theft in the GTA that is affecting all of us. Yes, this investigation identified multiple groups operating interprovincially and internationally in the GTA in the theft and trafficking of stolen vehicles. And they're being sent to various locations in Africa, the Middle East, and Europe. As a result, we created a 6-month pilot project with our law enforcement partners, Peel Regional Police, Durham Regional Police, Halton Regional Police, and supported by Criminal Intelligence Service Ontario. Through the hard work and long hours by the members of the investigative team and the backing of Equite Association and the strong support and investigative assistance of our federal partner, Canada Border Services Agency, we've made, as was stated earlier, 51 arrests, recovered 215 vehicles that are valued at over $17 million, recovered 15 handguns and assault rifle, a kilo of cocaine, and various reprogramming devices, which is all shown on the table in front of me. Vehicles are being stolen generally in 2 ways. The first is key reprogramming. So after lock manipulation, to gain entry into the vehicles, the thieves utilize the OBD port, which is your onboard diagnostic port, which is directly under your steering wheel in your vehicle, to reprogram a key for the vehicle. This on average takes 2 to 10 minutes. Actually gaining entry into the vehicle can be seconds. The video that you saw earlier is what's called a relay theft. This has been plaguing Europe for probably the last 3 to 5 years, and it's starting to become more prevalent in Canada. The thieves capture the key fob from within the signal from within your key fob from within your residence. It's relayed to a secondary device on a secondary thief that's out by your vehicle. Your vehicle then thinks that the key is actually beside the vehicle. It allows them to open the vehicle and start the vehicle, and that's why you see the theft occurring within 18 seconds. The vehicles are trafficked in the GTA in several ways. The first is we've been finding them and locating them in warehouses where they're loaded onto shipping containers, and then they're shipped by rail to Montreal and Halifax. They're driven along the 401 corridor to various locations in Ontario and Quebec, or they're containerized out in Quebec as well. Predominant reasons the vehicles are being stolen is obviously it's very profitable. Vehicles are being sold at the same or at a higher price overseas.
Okay, we've been listening live to Aurora, Ontario, York Regional Police announcing the results of Project Touchdown. It's all about recovering stolen vehicles and other contraband.